All right, folks, it's Friday night at the OK Corral. That's right, folks, step right up the OK Corral. Here we are, and I hope everybody's having a splendid Friday. I know I am. It's always good to have 2 days off and a weekend. And I'm cooking chicken thighs tonight. I just felt like chicken. Boy, is chicken going up. $10 for a small flat. Let me see, 3, 6. Yeah, 8 thighs. I mean, some good sized ones, but man, everything goes up but the paycheck. Well, hello, Nikki and Mr. Hinkle and Joseph. Yummy chicken, yes. Chicken is good. I did my laundry. I always do my laundry on Friday nights. I don't have a dryer hooked up. I gotta get the 220 receptacle hooked up to the pigtail, and I need to cut a hole. It's so funny because people would tell me, well, you can't put a vent hole up high. I said, man, it won't even be 8 feet. It'll be about 6 feet off the floor. You don't put a vent low here, man. The dang bugs get into it. Mice and everything else. So I'll put it up like yay high and go out the house with it. Well, yeah, we're just cooking. Dinner with Mike and Nikki. Yeah, it was warm today, but man, did we get some squalls of rain. I mean, it poured hard, and then it stopped, and then it poured, and that's the South. Hey, Donita. I feel bad today, and I'm going to run something by you. I did confess it to God. I do not feel bad that I yelled at somebody in traffic today, but I felt bad that I cussed. I called him an F-head. I've got a potty mouth. I left Walmart, and the road that runs in front of Walmart, you come up to a light to hit a main thoroughfare, and it's double left turn lane, and on the right is right turn lane. And the turn lane's fairly long, but traffic was backed up, and I'm in the outside right of a double left turn lane, like, 8 cars back. And so I'm right in the straight lane where the right turn lane just starts right here. But there's not enough room. And when I drive, I keep enough distance between me and the car in front of me. Usually where I can see the bumper of the vehicle or the wheels touch the ground. I'm not 30, 40 feet back. I'm not one of those. And this guy in a Cadillac honks, and I looked, had my windows down, I'm like, man, where am I going to go? And I wasn't going to move up a few feet because I thought, yeah, and then it'll scrape the side of the truck. There's not enough room. Then he honks again, and I went, and I pointed with my hands. I got a tinted back window. And then the traffic started to move, the light changed, and I started to go. And he pulls up next to me, it's a black older man, he says, you could have moved up. I said, hey, F-head, where am I supposed to go? There's a car in front of me, man. And he's all, I'm like, you know what? And that's all I said. I'm just like, and I felt bad because I said the F word. But let's reverse this. Say that was a black woman where I was. And I honked for her to move up. What do you think she's going to do? Anybody want to venture to guess? Anybody want to tell me? They're going to look in the mirror and go, What the heck is this guy's problem? They're gonna move. Anyways, people, I tell you, they do get on my nerves. Oh gosh, what is going on with her? And whoever you are, thank you. I know she's married, and I hope her husband is, there and by her side. I hope things are okay, and if you can, tell her that we will pray for her. Yes, we will do that, and I'll do it now. Lord, we pray for Ghosty. I don't know what's going on, but we pray, God, that you'd put your hand on her and help her to be healed, and whatever's going on in her mind, give her mental stability, God, and please give her your peace. Thank you for her friend here. May her friends gather around her and encourage and support her. And we just pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Hey, chickens. Got you. Are you her husband or your friend? And please tell her we're thinking about her and tell her we prayed for her. And I feel bad. She's always been chipper in here. Well, thank you, demon. You got to change that. Why are you a demon? Yeah, but my attitude isn't always good. I felt bad for cussing. I just, and I did confess it. I confessed it right as soon as it left my mouth. I said, God, I'm sorry. And, yeah, I tell you what, I do drive right. I drive right. I do not think I'm a perfect driver, but I go the speed limit, I use my signals, I don't tailgate, I don't do dumb things. That's just not who I am. And people out there are just rude. It's like, you honked, and then you honked again, and I can't move. Then all of a sudden the car in front of me moved because the light turned, and then I started to ease up. And I'm like, dude, can you not look? You had to wait, what, a nanosecond longer? Yeah. She made some hints about that. Friend, and thank you for telling. Thank you for being a friend to her. She needs that right now. Well, hey, Gail. I don't think I ever called you Galen. Chicken breasts. Or not chicken breasts. Chicken thighs. Hey, Sierra, how are you? And baby Ghosty, tell her we said hello. I hope she's going to come through this. Maybe she needs to get away from him. I'm not one of those Christians that thinks divorce is an unforgivable sin. If a man is being bad and there's no peace, and it's just bad, and she needs to go somewhere where she's safe. It's sad. It's just crazy that people, I just don't believe in staying in a crappy marriage Because I've been around Christians that, well, they judge me, I'm divorced. Oh, I know that, Kathy, I know that. Well, and I'm honored by that, and I'm saddened. Jesus does forgive. And I know God takes marriage very seriously, but if this is what's causing her mental health, then it sounds like she needs to get some respite. That's not good. I don't support somebody staying. The roommate I had here for 15 months, she had a husband he didn't abuse her, but he was fooling around with a vet. He claimed he didn't have an affair, young enough to be his daughter, and he was hanging out with a vet. And very unkind to her for years, and she said, Mike, I'm going to leave. And I said, I would. Did you talk to him? And he's not going to change. He's not going to change at all. And she was with him nearly 18 years, and she left. And I opened my home for her to live here, and we did not have a friends with benefits or any of that. She was just a friend. And she was able to get her mental health straightened out. She would talk my ear off. You know, I normally like to come home and eat and unwind, and I accommodated her because she said he wouldn't talk to me for years. I'd come home and we'd have no conversation. She fixed him dinner and he fussed about it. Hey, Sir Jacob. Hello, PBJ. PBJ, you're funny. Sierra, I'm glad you're here too. PBJ, everybody. And Ghosty, thank you. Friend, if you're still here, I'm glad you're there for her. I'm going to say something. Everybody needs somebody to care. And I apologize to my viewers. My language is awful. And I need to work on that. It's just when you get older, it's so easy to just... And I didn't feel bad that I got annoyed at him. It just bothered me that I let the F word fly out of my mouth. But hey, I didn't call him the N word. I don't do that. People are just crazy out there. Well, I've never met her, but she seems like a very nice lady. And I had a friend here. She drove bus. She's not a Christian, a Puerto Rican woman, and I just heard from another Puerto Rican woman that keeps in touch with me about transportation that she called on the radio one day and they couldn't reach her, and they located her bus and she couldn't open the door. She was slumped over the steering wheel, and everybody's saying we couldn't get in, and I'm like, go in the back door. Maybe she had a heart attack. Man, people over there are dumb. She's in a mental hospital. And she came to me and she said, you're the only one I talk to here. I don't fool with these people, Mike. And you know what? I don't understand everything that a person can go through. But it's sad that life can get you so much that you have a mental breakdown. And that's not good. Hey, Twisted. And that's right. You ask forgiveness, you are forgiven, and that's right. Work was good today. It only took my coworker all day to pack 100 small items in a box. And I did say something to my supervisor, and he goes, I know. He said, I've noticed that. I was trying to get her set up, and I don't know what it is. We've had 2 people come in and want to play bossy butt. And I said, supervisor called me today. They wanted me to move the semi-trailer because the guy that normally does it wasn't here. And they got a big truck hooked up to it. The brake system is very different. And the back trailer wheel was stuck on, so I couldn't move it. And she comes up, I said, I need you to make 100, or tape just one piece across the bottom, 108 8x5 boxes. When I get done, I'll tell you what I need you to do. And I told her, she goes, well, I need to help. I said, nope. You work in this department, and the supervisor said he needs you to do this, and I've got to do 200 shock absorbers, as well as get the pig tickets, and I'm going to get you set up. And I got everything she needed, and then she tried to stop me. She goes, you need to slow down. I said, hey, I don't got time for this, and we're not doing this again. I need you to go take care of this. I need to take care of this. You, if you got a question, you can ask me, but you're going to have to accept that Michael runs at a certain RPM. If you have a question, ask me, but stop telling me to take a deep breath and all that. You're spending 10 minutes going yada, 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 yada. I need you to get on this, okay? Now, what is your question? Never mind. Let's just go. I said, okay, good. Let's get this done. I tell you what, people, I can deal with people that admit they got problems. But I am so tired of these bossy butts. But that's okay. Our shipping clerk communicated that and called our supervisor and said, yes, she's trying to boss Mike around and tell me and everybody what to do. And then she piddled around for 4 hours yesterday. I tell you, they ought to just make me a manager. Because if you're a manager, I could say, let me get something straight. When I tell you this is the way we do it, this is the way we do it. I don't want a bunch of this. If you can't do the duties of the job, then I'm going to suggest you find other work. That's it. I'm a reasonable man, but you are being unreasonable. But she did get it done. And we have a new hire. And I put him on 200 shocks. I got him set up. He came in at 10 o'clock. She started at 8 on 100 items. And he got this whole thing done in way less, twice as many. I tell you what. I said, man, you did awesome. Sir Jacob, and I'm not the boss, but I need a, hey Chrysler, hey Krebs, they need to just make me the boss. And when I introduce myself, I'll say, my name is Michael. I will be training you. And just to start off, we've had a lot of problems with people coming in and being bossy. We're not doing this. I'm going to show you the way to do it. And this is the way we do it. If you think you have a better way after you get comfortable doing it, that's fine. But there's not going to be arguing. There's not going to be tug of war. I want you to get used to doing these things the following way. When you get really good at it, you can come up with a better way, and you run it by me and the supervisor, okay. Now, thank you, Sir Jacob. I don't want to be over people. Hey, Cody, how are you? And I hope you do too. But why She said she was a mother of, I don't know how many kids. She's Dominican Republic and Puerto Rican. Now, I am not racist, but this has just reminded me. She lived in Brooklyn. Need I say any more? Do you know anything about women from Brooklyn? La da 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 da, that whole accent, plus the Puerto Rican dialect. Those things are real. And I told her today, I'm not going to listen to 10 minutes of discussion. We have got too much to do. Supervisor City wants both these orders done today, priority. Well, I can get it done. I can get things that are probate faster than anybody else. And I thought, no, you can't. But I didn't even address that. I thought, okay, let her live in her make-believe world. It took her 8 hours to get 100 items. They were a steel wheel with a pin in an 8 by 8 by 5 box. And I thought to myself, 8 hours to do that. I would have had all that done and banded and put together in 2. But, well, whatever. Let's let her do what she needs to do. Yes, Sierra, and I'm sorry. Hey, Patricia, how are you? Do I ever wear ballroom gowns? Now that's funny, Gary. No, I don't. Ballroom gowns. I like that, but I don't think I'd wear ballroom gowns, but that is funny. I'm not making fun of you. That just sounded so... I should sing AC/DC song. He was not talking about testicles. Did you know that? I've got big balls, and you've got big balls. But I have the biggest balls of them all. When we were in middle school, we thought he was singing about testes. No, it was a play on words with a double entendre, which I just thought that was fascinating. I didn't learn that until well after I was an adult. Very funny, silly stuff. So tonight I'm having chicken, 2 breasts, some long grain. This is Walmart. They did have some rollbacks today. They're bringing the rollbacks back. This is pretty good stuff. It's seasoned. It tastes pretty good. But E-Rock and his wife have been 2 shifts in a night because they work different shifts, and he has been asked to come in and do OT, mandatory Saturdays, even though he does mandatory OT 5 days a week. Not mandatory, but to get all their orders done. They're moving the company, and then they increase the amount of production. He said, why would you increase the production when we're trying to move to another facility? What's a nabob? Hello, Elizabeth. Nantucket. Mr. E-Rock, I was just talking about you, saying you were on a date. He can tell you. He takes a lot of stuff. He's got a supervisor, a boss that's an absolute yuck. Doesn't lift a finger to help. Isn't very nice. Very arrogant, to be perfectly blunt. Don't you just love those kind? I heard a little more on my break. I didn't do a live chat today, but on my break I just sat and watched a couple of YouTubes, and somebody, they named names I never heard of before. One is a multi-billionaire connected with the Epstein, and he owns Victoria's Secret and some other big businesses, and now I'm starting to understand why Pam Bondi said, when you start pulling on this chain, and these big names that were mentioned, they're rich, are deeply involved in child sex trafficking teen girls. One of them is the owner of Victoria's Secret. Pam Bondi was saying if you were to bring this whole thing to justice, the world would collapse. That's crazy. Hey, Anywhere, how are you? Is that Les Wexner? Did you see that video, Combs? Hello, Jesse. Chicken, rice, and steamed veggies. Hello, Six Style. I know Victoria's Secret. She's an old man living in Ohio. That's funny. The spider web of people entangled in this web is monstrous. And Epstein, clearly what you're seeing is he wanted to draw as many of these big shots in because then they all got immunity. And then there's a YouTube artist today talking about how Epstein, and then we're talking about muffins and some sort of sauce. And he said, clearly, you know, they're not talking about food items. The muffins and pizza and jerky and this sauce. It's crazy. They're all code words for stuff. The chat is froze. And I tell you what, it's disturbing. The FBI knew all this. And they didn't do anything. And I grew up as a kid, we had faith in our institutions. We did. We had faith in the FBI. We had faith in, a lot of things. The CDC, Centers for Disease Control. And during COVID, CDC just proved themselves to be another joke. Paul Fauci is the highest paid government official. Can somebody tell me how that came to be? Hello, Wendy. How did Paul Fauci become the highest paid government official over the President of the United States? How did we get there? And he's finally gone. Good riddance. Good riddance. And it's crazy. It's just crazy beyond words. Oh, got you. You're right, because it would have spun up. But what are they censoring? Because nobody has said anything that would violate their so-called community standards. Of course, none of us really knows what YouTube's community standards are. They're very nebulous. Very nebulous. I love these vegetables. Bird's Eye makes some pretty good veggies. To chat on other channels. No macaroni. Not tonight. I changed it up, Patricia. I actually broke out of my habit. Hey, Mason King, how are you? Did YouTube do it? People are telling me that the comments are turned off. I said, sometimes I turn the chat off. I keep chat off when I do lives. People are telling me that their comments are disappearing on my channel. Now, I know nothing about that. People that are trolling me and leaving rude comments, I just remove them. Or I put the user, if they're leaving a bunch of stupid remarks, I put them on high. They can continue to type, but I and nobody else can see that. It's almost comical because then they think, oh, and then they see nobody responding. Then they finally go, oh, I'm blocked. Duh. I think it's an awesome feature of YouTube. But YouTube also pays attention to us as supposed content creators. If we are blocking people or we're, removing comments, they're very aware of that, and that starts working against them. So I'm very careful about leaving comments on other people's channels. I don't want to get in trouble. Got you, Sierra. I agree. Hey, Big Chevy. Thank you, Patricia. Hello, George. Ethan, George, how are you? Yeah, I don't know everything about YouTube. Paul Emery from the UK sent me an instructional how to bring people onto the live, and it's not his fault. Have you ever looked at some of the Google directions? They make no sense. Before you set up the live, you have to go to the app, then you got to invite somebody, you got to copy and paste. I'm like, I still don't know how to bring somebody on. Forget all that. Forget it. I'm not going through that. It's just stupid. YouTube has gotten complicated. I should be able to click on a name and say add to chat. You think as sophisticated as things are, like say I wanted to bring Sierra on, I could click on. She could come up on the screen split, we could talk. And then when she's done, she opts out and I can bring somebody else. Why is it so hard for them to do that? You see, that's the kind of a YouTube I would make. Easy. I'd make it so you could have like the Brady Bunch. Split the screen, 3, 1, that'd be awesome. I think that'd be fun as all get out. That'd be fun. And we could all be looking down on each other just like the Brady Bunch thing. That'd be a trip. Oh, I need to see your shorts, girl. Wendy! I like the little emoji. That's cute. Hello, Chris Nully. Yes, Cialis, how come they can't simplify it? Everything is an act of Congress to get it to do a simple procedure. I hate YouTube Studio. I used it back when I had Pacific Ocean Asia. It was easy. Now, people say, why don't you monetize? They take 40%. Then I've got to place the ads. Then you got to watch what you say. Then you can't do this and can't do that and can't. It's like, forget it. Then I don't have a channel. It's just, I don't think, if you don't monetize, you don't get all the ads. YouTube does like people talking about God. Hello, Tina. Gail, I like the heart. That's cute. That's cute. I like some of those emojis. They're absolutely adorable. I can never seem to find some of those. Even my friend Tina will send me stuff. I said, I got an iPhone 16. How come I can't find these things that you find? I just think it's silly. I want to see something. Let's see, like effects. Lighting on. I don't want that. What is this? retouch off. What is that? I don't want to touch that. That'll mess things up. Chicken thighs, rice, seasoned rice, and steamed vegetables. I mix the rice and steamed vegetables together. And yeah. I do chicken thighs in the skillet. I put some salt, pepper, and some Italian seasoning on it, and a little oil. I like the thighs better because they're just tastier. Breast meat is good, except it's too dry. You almost have to put a sauce on it. I used to eat nothing but chicken breast, but I don't anymore. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take the chicken and dump some of the chicken grease in the rice and veggies, and it flavors it some more. That way, not dumping oil down the sink. I used to use sunflower oil, but after we got involved in the war in the Ukraine, sunflower oil went through the roof. And I hate using canola oil because it's a seed oil, and seed oils aren't good for you. The sunflower oil, to me, I think it's one of the better seed oils. Olive oil is expensive. Man, Sierra, that sounds good. And for dessert, ginger juice. E-Rock, you're funny. You're absolutely funny. So, what is the best ice cream? Ben & Jerry's, Blue Bunny, Haagen-Dazs. Go. When I was a kid, Haagen-Dazs was the bomb. Ben & Jerry's. I have pretzels, ice cream, really? Ben & Jerry, look at that. Ben & Jerry, Ben & Jerry. Talenti, if you like gelato. I have not heard of that. But that's interesting. Man, did it pour off and on today. And then the sun came out. About midday on. I heard that, E-Rock. Ben & Jerry's full of chemicals. Hello, Sungy. I liked Haagen-Dazs when I was a kid. Well, middle school on. I can't eat ice cream now. There's a lot of corn syrup and stuff in it. But when I was a kid in LA, towards California, we had Thrifty Drugstore. 25 cents a scoop. 75 cents for a triple scoop. Man, mint chocolate chip, Neapolitan, orange sherbet, top favorites, and of course, chocolate and vanilla. Anybody remember Neapolitan? That was just good stuff. Favorite candy bar? Favorite candy bar? I don't think it's a candy bar, but when I was a kid, I was addicted to Reese's peanut butter cups. What's bent? Well, thank you, Ram Ram. Oh, cons, but at least I'm not chewing crunchy granola. You know, I played back something the other day and I'm like, my gosh, is that loud? I'm like, I guess that's why some people are getting annoyed. Oh well. It's free, man. Nikki, are you still here? Hello, Abba. I have to say, when I was a kid, I loved coffee ice cream. Very interesting taste. Nikki, you're still here. That's good. What was it? Payday? I got myself in trouble because when I was a kid, the kids had this stupid joke. Are you an Almond Joy or a Mounds? And I said a Mounds because I love Mounds. They said, oh, you don't have any nuts. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Walked right into the trap. But I like Mounds, Three Musketeers. When I was a kid, I didn't like nuts in anything. Snickers was good. I liked Kit Kat bars. Twix. Now those were good. What would you do for a Klondike bar? What would you do for a Klondike bar? Remember that in the 90s? Port Royals, I've never heard of those. Now, my favorite candy as a kid in the movie theater, Raisinets and Junior Mints. How many of you guys are in your 50s in the room? Raise your hands. So I'm going to see if you guys remember this candy. Most people don't even know what this is. I remember Tim Tams, Snow Caps, Junior Mints. Anybody remember Almond Roca? A pink, it was a plastic wrapper, pink, square about that big, and it had two. I'm sorry, it looked like cat box turds. Looked like two pieces of poo with the sand on them. But they were good. They were not cat box turds. They were called Almond Rocas. You don't even see them anymore. Greg, so you remember that? Hey, Shannon. Hey, but why? Bottle caps? Candy, you remember bottle caps? Tarts. Lemon heads. Oh, yeah. Lemon heads. Your mom was born in 66. So was I, Sierra. It's good now that I'm home. The wax bottles with the juice. Yep. Those were good. Well, Sungi, you have a good one, and thanks for coming in. Get a haircut? Are you asking? Candy cigarettes, I remember those. So you be careful. Have a good weekend, good day tomorrow. Come back and see us. I was born in March. Oh my gosh, pink popcorn. Remember caramel? Was it caramel corn? Mike and Ike. Good and plenty, good and fruity. So funny. Remember the little cellophane roll of sweet tarts? They still make those. Sweet tarts. Man, I did good today. They had rollbacks, $3. So about 2 of these. The apple cherry Mott's. Oh my gosh. Cherry juice is my favorite. $3 for a bottle of that is a bargain. Man, everything went up. You guys buy soda pop. You pay a lot of money for that. Hey, Tina. Shannon, you're at the hospital. Are you okay? Thank you, Ram. Oh, cherry juice is the best. You cannot get straight cherry juice easily. So, we got a Publix on the west side of town, but I never go to the west side. I hate traffic. I drove it into Denver. And you go to the west side of town, it's so congested, there's so many accidents, and I don't even go over there. Everything's over there. Lone Star Steakhouse, Outback, all that stuff is out there, but I don't go. Going out to eat anymore is expensive. I got a Mexican restaurant that's good. I got a 80s style bar and grill that's good. I'm content just to stay in my neighborhood. What is palm? Oh, pomegranate, yes. You're going to Texas Roadhouse. Let me know how much it is for dinner now. Like steak and all that. Everything is going up. Hey, Austin, how are you? You know what bothers me? And I thank God that He provides me with what I need. A coworker said I have to leave early. He said they put a lien on my property. He said I've been in arrears in my taxes the last 2 years. And he has donkey and goats and a pig and chickens and stuff. And I thought, my gosh. How do people get themselves in a pickle like that? He doesn't drive anything. He's got an old barn find 80s Chevy pickup. That he limps along. Yeah, Diane, I saw, was it you that left the message? I'm like, I don't know who bans you. I know I didn't. Hey, Carol. What is Jesus juice? I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. I'm glad to see everybody showing up. Nikki, what's your favorite candy bar? Chicken thighs, wild rice, and steamed vegetables. Hippie communion. Oh my gosh. What is hippie communion? Woodstock. Fifth Avenue? I remember that. Well, thank you, Carol. You know, I got my phone plugged in whenever I'm doing a live. Well, Eric, you can leave. You're the only one that's complaining about it. Maybe you don't belong here. Yeah, and you made another comment, the other day. So how about if we just help you out here? We just hide you. Bye, Eric. Have a good day. E-Rock told me that he does not like watching people eat. And he's never criticized me. So I think if I was crossing a line, I think Eric would have told me that. Eric left a comment last week about that. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Carol. Yeah, I bought this rice. It's just Walmart Great Value brand, but this is pretty good. $1.32. Long grain of wild rice seasoned, 90-second. These are these microwavables. It's natural. There's no junk in here. I don't, it's got mushroom powder, parsley, thyme. Sugar is one of the last ingredients. Soybeans, rice. It's good. And I like the Mahatma jasmine rice. It's pretty good. This stuff's pretty good. I need to get my rice cooker out. Yeah, but why? I don't get it. Hello, Premium. How are you? You know, if people don't like something, I remember years ago when I did the old channel, I didn't know that my laptop had a built-in mic. So I hooked in a little microphone. And when I was back in the day, I was using blowsieves and didn't realize every time I talked, boom, boom, you know. And then I realized it had a built-in mic. I'm like, oh my gosh, the built-in mic gets rid of blowsieves. And you see these people now, they're on YouTube, but they're sitting at a desk with an actual microphone like the old days of radio. I'm like, what is all that? Oh, Chinese and Japanese food are the best. Tiered, no reared. You know, when I was in Denver, they had a mostly Korean food store. We don't have anything like that here. I was right next to a coworker that I respect, and he lost his temper today, and I've never seen him do that. Sales guy keeps coming into the shipping shack. I get along with the guy, but he does get into personal space. And he's not being, in his mind, he's not being rude. But this guy had a lot to do, and he just says, I need to get on there. He's got his own right at the office, which is in a separate building. And he finally says, hey, I need to get back to doing my job. And he didn't get off. And he was by me and his arm brushed me and he threw his pencil, had the rag and threw it and stormed right out the bay door. And the president, one of the owners, and my supervisor stand there. What just happened? I said, I'm not sure, but he doesn't get mad like that. So something pissed him off. But what he told me later, he said, I'm sorry about that. He said he gets right up on me. Here, I need to get in there. He doesn't say, excuse me. I said, yeah, I get what you're saying. And he said, even after all that, he did it several times. I said, wow. Younger guy, the sales guy. They lack self-awareness. Sierra, are you still here? I remember those days, Carol. The scratch dent, you could get a big discount back in the day. Now, I don't know how good they are now. Good, Sierra, you're going to get a job. We're praying for you. Yeah, and I agree, Diane. Sierra, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but did you put the boyfriend on timeout? That's awesome. I love it when people. There was a guy in Canada that used to listen to my live stream. He's an artist, and he said, I love it when you did your 4-hour rants. I put you on my iPod back in the day. And he went overseas to marry a girl because of my channel. And they actually have a good relationship. He lives up there, way up in Canada somewhere, a big piece of property. He taught her how to drive the tractor. And he did a Valentine's video. Oh my gosh, this thing was so funny. he had another video that cracked me up, but he did a Valentine's video where he surprises her and he gives her a note. And she's got to follow the clues and goes out into the snowy acreage that they own. And they've got this private little pond, and he had tramped out this big heart in the snow with his footsteps and different things. And then she goes to a tree, and behind the tree, and there's a gift. And it was just cool. It was like a scavenger hunt. And she throws her arms around him. It was so cute. Yeah, Sierra, that's funny. Seems like we're chasing the dollar. The dollar keeps running away. Shoot, Dollar Tree ain't no Dollar Tree no more. It's a $1.25 tree. Thank you, Derek, and hello. And thank you for that, Carol, for the photo conference. Sierra, good for you for being disciplined. You know, and you can do all this online. I hate online apps. Oh my gosh, I hate them. But for those of you that are tech savvy, you can let your fingers do the walking and blah, 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 blah. Get on Indeed. Indeed's got sometimes if you put your resume out there. Matthew, I'm all right. Hello, Skybird. Welcome. Oh yeah, soda's ridiculous. Really? I've heard of Glassdoor. It's so funny, all these jobs, after I got the job I'm in, I get bombarded with, you could be good for this job. And then they send me all these driver jobs. I'm like, well, I already took a job. Tillamook ice cream is the best. Yeah, no. Tillamook, Oregon. I haven't been there, but that is a cool town, I heard. A town that is beautiful. I haven't been to it, but I believe it was the backdrop to Schwarzenegger's Kindergarten Cop. Astoria, Oregon is beautiful. Salted caramel, bluebell, homemade goat's milk. So do you make your own goat's milk, chicken? Oh, got you, Sarah. That makes sense. Everybody's trying to call you for a job and they get a block call. Yeah, I am convinced. I speak clearly and voice text. I hit send and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is not what I said. F4, do you remember the old-fashioned rock salt? The old-fashioned homemade ice cream? That was something else. Hey, Paulette, welcome, and how are you? You know, I'll notice something. You can tell the world's changing. We get off work, we come home. Guy was telling me today at work, a good place to see girls not wearing bras at one of the clubs. I said, you know what? That all sounds like fun, but I'm done with all that. I used to go downtown, and if you want a girl that matters, a nightclub and a bar is not the place to find them. I'm going to say that right now. It is not the place to find girls, a man, or men, a woman. That is not the place to find a good mate. I don't even drink. Oh, Carol, thank you. I'm sorry. Yes. Down south here, we have possums. In New Zealand, they have opossums, and she said they're not the same. She's trying to sell her house. The guy backed out of an offer, so that fell through. She said she was out in the yard. Dogs were chasing an opossum. It climbed up her legs and dug its claws into her to get away from the dogs. And the dogs were trying to tear it off of her. Now she had to go back to the hospital and get medication so she didn't get any diseases this animal carried. I'm like, you talk about a woman who is just getting nailed. She's it. So we need to pray for her. But why? It's just too much. Sierra, you're right. F4, thanks for coming in, and you have a good evening. Be safe. Oh, Carol, I dated a woman that I met at the laundromat. I'll never do it again. I was married to her for 14 years, and boy, was that a bad thing to do. But yeah. Yeah, Carol, it's just too much. Thank you, F4. But why? That's good. Rob Rules told me, Mike, if anything happened to my wife, I wouldn't even want to date. I said, dude, it's a joke. I don't get on dating sites. I don't even look at them. I know guys, they sit there and live for the dating apps, and girls. And I don't look at them. Oh, Carol, I'm not going to get married real quick. I made that mistake moons ago. There's pee in the dating pool. Sierra, that's a good one. There's pee in the dating pool. Oh my gosh, is that funny? That is funny. I wash my clothes here, and I would drive the laundromat to dry them. I got enough empty closets in this house that I just hang them on the rack, let them air dry. They're dry in a day. Don't do YouTube dating, bro. We are all leftovers. You know what? That is the truth. Men and women, we've all been through stuff. We've all been through stuff. YouTube dating. Remember was it the 80s or the 70s, that dating show? Oh my gosh, was that ever hokey? Remember back in the 70s when the guys had a big old bushy mustache? Cheese E. Yeah, the dating game, yes. That cheesy E. I remember the old Pink Panther movie. The women and the husband or whatever, the boyfriend, girlfriend, I don't remember. They were up in the honeymoon suite with a big heart-shaped bed, and then the wall of the building came down, and they're naked up in the bed, and the whole wall opens up, showing them up there. Oh my gosh, this movie's stupid. Stupid. Movies in the 70s were something else, man. So crazy. That is just nuts. That Pink Panther movie was before the actual cartoon. And it was different. It was not, like the cartoon Pink Panther at all. Henry Mancini did the Pink Panther music. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Henry Mancini used to work for MGM Studios. And he said he loved working for the studio back in the day. He said, I was left alone to create. He said when he began to leave or get older, he said, that was when the honeymoon days of working for MGM were over. He had a good career there. Everything's so cutthroat now. Everything. But Henry Mancini, he did the Baby Elephant Walk. He was a heck of a music creator. He was very talented. Da, 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 da. Well, that chicken really stuck to the pan. That's why I do a little soap. It works. I use brake cleaner on my dishes and it comes right off. Brake cleaner will get rid of anything. Now, I've never tried it on dishes and I wouldn't. A Southerner told me if I ever get sumac, pour brake cleaner on your arm. I said, what? I don't think we're going to do that. He claims it helped clear it up faster. I don't know. There may be truth to that. I'll never know because I haven't done it. I hope to never get into the sumac again. That stuff was awful. Tearing that fence out. Right around this time and into March of last year is when my arm exploded on me. I was cutting those vines down and one of them bumped my arm and left this fluid on my arm, and that was the end of everything. It took for weeks for that to clear up. And there's a scar there to this day. Now, poison ivy I can handle better. It's irritating, but I can handle it better. Mr. E-Rock, are you still in the house? You've been awfully quiet. Poison ivy's nasty, all of that. And it's all over the place down here. Virginia creeper, we got all kinds of junk. I think Mr. E-Rock went on his date night with his wife, Mrs. E-Rock. I wanted him to see me eating my ginger chews. I'm sorry, Nikki. I know you weren't feeling well yesterday. You'll see it get dark for a minute, but I'm just moving into my room. I need to get some Roundup. I noticed that the weather warmed up all of a sudden and the grass and the weeds are just going into overdrive all of a sudden. Tell you, that was a fast winter. I bought some spray today and I like it. Oh my gosh, I like it. I got to show you this spray. You ladies ought to get it, and I did not know this. Febreze does not have all the dyes and the junk in it. That's why it doesn't irritate me like, oh my gosh, Yankee Candle is terrible. That stuff's of the devil. I will never, ever use Yankee Candle. That's about killed me. This stuff, I bought this. This stuff is cheaper than Lysol. I'm going to tell you, I've always been a Lysol guy. This stuff is awesome. My whole room smells like lilacs. This is the bomb. You can get the 2-pack. And that is the way to do it. Oh, swordgrass. Where are you at, Dion? What state are you in? I bought this stuff right around December, and it was limited. And I've got a little bit left. This was a limited edition, and I should have bought a case of this stuff. White pine and juniper berry makes my bedroom smell like a forest. I'm impressed. It says long-lasting freshness, no dyes, no formaldehyde, no phthalates, no flammable propellants. Do not store in vehicle. Do not shake can. Tell you what, this stuff is not bad stuff. I used to use this on the school bus. I'm not trying to be gross, but them high schoolers, it smelled like ASS every time they got off. And I'd carry one of these in my bulkhead and yeah, I tell you what, those kids are so smelly. Bad hygiene, BO and butt. I'd wipe my seats down. Guam, oh wow. Diane, you are only 4 hours flight from Manila. I wanted to live in Guam because it'd be easier to go to the Philippines. But it's not easy for a guy like me to make it there. But why it's... By the time May comes, last couple weeks of May, it'll be hot and sweaty. What time is it in Guam right now? Hey, Tina, happy Friday to you. Yeah, it was just Lent. Yeah, I was waiting for you to come on. How is Amber doing? That's right, you're a day ahead. 11:20 a.m. on a Saturday. Sierra, these kids are very, very, very difficult out here. I drove inner city routes in Denver. I did not have the problems that I did out here. I don't want to work with children anymore. I go to church. I see these stuck-up teens. I just don't want anything to do with kids. Nothing. I'm an adult. I belong in an adult world. Yeah, but why that's accurate. Stormtroopers, yep. Are you in Kansas, Carol? They are. You know, when I was in high school, we respected our elders. I graduated in 85, and you had some smart aleck kids, but not like today. Not like today. Pennsylvania. I didn't know they had sunflower seeds growing up there. Yeah, I agree, but why? Tina, 1989. You puppy, Tina, you're a puppy. What town or city do you live in Guam, Diane? Now you got me interested. Oh, the bird food. I was going to say, they don't grow sunflowers. I dated a woman in Denver. I used to call her my sunflower. The way her smile on her face was, I said, you remind me of a sunflower. And she goes, really? That is actually my favorite flower. I said, well, hey, I was on it then. Hello, Samuel. All the bird food. I always try to call the ladies I date an affectionate name. My ex-wife was called Pig and Piggy. And it was meant to be cute. I didn't realize it was prophecy. She was a pig. She was a slob. She was an absolute piggy housekeeper, piled stuff everywhere, piggy with her clothes. And I told her one day, I said, I always called you Piggy because I thought it was cute, but I said, you're a piglet. I said, I have to clean up after you all the time. I'd walk through the house picking up stuff, and I go, Good night. I don't use any fabric softeners or fresheners. That causes my skin to itch. Military veteran Minuteman Mountain needs therapy. Hello, Star Girl. I don't feel like a baby. I feel 80 most days. How are you, Star? Starlight, star bright, make everything all right. "33 and you feel 80. I'll trade you ages. You can have my 59 if I can have your 33. OxyClean, borax, washing soda. Wow. Well, I'm glad you're all right. No, she doesn't want to be older than she is. I'm all right, Star. I can't put on the lipstick. I got face fur. That wouldn't look right. Paul, you're funny. I gotta be clean shaven and wear a girl's top. Put the little barrettes in my hair. I'm not doing barrettes in my hair. No. Yeah, Bridge sent me a voice message a few days ago saying she's sorry, she's missed us, and she's busy. Mob I talked to over the weekend. James was in here just the other day saying they might have been getting snow the other day. Paul, it doesn't look right. I can't put lipstick on when I've got, look, that don't look right. Diane, you are like me. You like things clean. Porta potties are gross. I'm sure the ladies like the ones at festivals in the US where you sit down in the urinal, the pee urinal's right there next to the toilet. So when a lady sits on the pot, it's like, ew. So gross. No, he wanted me to put on lipstick, but I haven't shaved and I don't look all femmy, so I'm not going to do it. That just sounds like a song, Kathy. I don't think I'm in a lipstick mood tonight. Just turn out the lights. I'm going to sleep. You don't love me anymore, baby. No sense in dressing up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a job. What? Diane, what city in Guam are you in? I might have missed what you said. No, she's standing here in front of my book, Future Shot. I put lipstick on her. Maybe I could pencil in it with a dry erase. You could use some lipstick. Your nose is really a mess. Look at that nose. Variegata, mostly they're called villages. Wow. Diane, it is cute. I like the troll. I envy you, Diane. You're on an island 38 miles across. You're very, very close to one of the most fascinating geological or geographical features ever, and that's Marianas Trench. Billy and Mandy, yes. That's all right, Sierra. I'm just glad you're here. I really hope that Ghosty's okay. I feel so bad what happened. It does bother me because you talk to people and you get to know them in here, and she's struggling. That's amazing. Now, how deep is the water in the ocean in Guam? Is it like, can you swim out on beaches or does it drop off? You're so close to Marianas Trench, so does the ocean just literally drop off? Like Hawaii, you don't have to swim far. And the ocean just deep. That's interesting, Sky. I did not know that. Wishing dolls. Paul Bright. All right, no more lipstick. Near Maurizo, there's a pier that drops off nearly 20, 30 feet down. It's only 20 feet away from the shore. Thank you, Mr. Palad. But you know what I'm talking about, Diane? Like Hawaii, you don't have to get far out from the shore, and it drops like deep, deep, like Titanic deep. You know, the Hawaiian Islands in Guam just jut up from the seafloor. No, I'm not, Carol, I care. I mean, I'm not losing sleep, but it bothers me. It bothers me that people have to have a struggle like that. I've had struggle. I don't like struggling, but it sucks when you lose your mental faculties. Mr. E Rock, what are you doing right now? Really? I did not know that. I didn't know Guam had any island satellites. That's right, Sarah. Oh gosh, Mr. Rock, I think it sucks that you've been forced to work. You of all people should be exempt from that. You've been working OT all the time. That's crazy. I understand, Carol. Amen, Diane. Tina, what are you sorry for? Mystery Rock, since you're laying down, I think I'll have another ginger chew. Mystery Rock, did you hear what I said? Eric in here said that my chewing makes him want to puke, and he left a comment on another video to that regard. And I mentioned you and said that Erock doesn't like watching people eat. But if he had a problem with me, he would be saying something, and he never has. I know when I chewed my granola the other day, it sounded like a bomb going off. But chewing makes me hungry. Hello, Kate. Yes, Tina, I agree. I understand that, Mystery Rock. Adults are so cruel sometimes to kids. I was talking to my friend Lisa. She's black. She's got a young lady who is a mother of her daughter, and they're her nieces or whatever, living in her house. And they can be a little disrespectful to my friend. And I called her to say hi tonight. And she turned and hollered something. And she said, "Don't tell me not to yell at you." And I sent her a text. She said, "Mike, I'm going to have to call you back." I sent her a text. Just a reminder, this is your house. It's amazing how these kids just think they can take over and be so rude. She doesn't put up with that. I mean, she'll lay into them. Hey, Tennessee. Hello, Brandy. I'm okay, Brandy. How are you doing? And thank you for speaking up. I never know who's here. So after you ate that at Taco Bell, Carol, did you sit on the toilet for the rest of the day? Thank you, Sierra. I appreciate that. Brandy, I'm sorry. What's going on? We need to pray for you. Tina, I loved Taco Bell when I was a kid. I wouldn't go there now. Oh, I'm zoning off. I'm getting sleepy. I'm reading, but I'm zoning. Hey, Paul, thank you. I love you guys all too. You've never seen me like this before. What? Not wearing girl clothes? My hair's growing. I'm happy about that. My confidence is returning. Wake up, get out of bed, drag a comb across your head. No chain. Brandy, Lord, we pray for Brandy that you'd help her to get well, feel better. I don't know what she's got, but we pray that you'd help her to get healed and be with her and give her your peace, God. And we just pray that you put your hand on her in Jesus' name. Amen. Oh, Diana, that's bad. I will never fall asleep in a bathroom stall in public. I wouldn't even fall asleep on my own toilet. No problem, Brandy. That would suck, fall asleep with a toilet bowl. Sometimes I get in the tub and the water feels so good, I'll stretch all the way back where my head's up and I'll nod off a little bit. I got myself positioned though. Even if I fell asleep, I'm not going to roll into the water. Still not a good idea to fall asleep in the tub though. It's Friday night. When I used to go to the rec center in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, can you really sleep standing? The most norm. Tina, sometimes things are calm. I think we only had one troll tonight. They gave me a shout out at work on Wednesday in the safety meeting, so that was nice. What a difference it makes with a clown gone. I thank God he's gone. That was crazy. Absolutely crazy. My job is going much better now. Much better. Jen, what do you got going on? So I've heard it. No, I don't smoke at all. I need a work clown gone. Send in the clowns. I told my supervisor today, I said, it'd really be nice if we could keep good people. And then I turned around and said, actually, let me rephrase that. If we could get good people, and he goes, that one right there. He said, I never would have hired you. He says the president hired you. I said, you blew it, didn't you? He goes, oh, I admit it. I would have never hired you. He said, you have shocked and exceeded my expectations. I said, I love that. It's the way it should be. Jen, well, thank you. I tried to. I do the safety squint. Forget the safety dance. Safety squint. Safety dance. Men without hats. Jen Bunny, that's a cute name. Because he thought I had no previous warehouse experience, even though I did, from the 80s. Reading your books, but why? I didn't know you had books. Hey, Diane, you have a nice Saturday, and thanks for coming in. It's neat to have somebody from the island of Guam. I flew in there coming back from the Philippines in 2018, and I can still remember we laid over for 2 hours, and as we flew out, I'm like, you gotta be kidding. The plane banks, and I see a yellow school bus. I said, no way. Look at that, a school bus on Guam. That just blew me away. Diane, we love you too. Thanks for coming in. Sierra, thanks for coming. I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad that you're staying on top of that. Good job on 20 apps. Good job. We just want to encourage you to keep up. We know that when the enemy comes in, and that's why we want to encourage you to keep putting applications in. I'm proud of you. We want to encourage you. We want you to ride through this darkness and God show up. Tina, your little blings are so cute. I don't know. It's supposed to wash out tomorrow. If it's raining, I'm not going to go. I'll be housebound. I do got to go to Lowe's and buy some Roundup. It's going to be time to start spraying stuff soon. It was as if, though, God was saying, nope, you got to go back and drive the bus. Because I did that in the summer. And a week after I got back, I had to go to in-service. Denver schools. I better go to sleep, folks. Thanks for coming in. Chat was nice tonight. Do they really? We have a Tractor Supply. It's up by Sam's Club here. That dang Roundup is $15 a gallon. This stuff ain't cheap. You too, Jen? And thank you. Come back, you guys, and Stargirl. All of you. You too, Kathy. Thanks for coming in. Mr. E-Rock, you and Amber have a good night's sleep, and Godspeed at work tomorrow, brother. 1, 2, 3, Penny. I didn't even see you sneak in. Well, I'm glad. I won't forget you. Paul, I'll shave and I'll put on my lipstick and all my girl stuff. Do I sleep? Yes. About 5 hours. I think I've become like my grandma that I talked about this morning. She was up all night. Now I go to sleep. I don't think she ever did. Tina, Abba, Carol, I'll keep the battery warm for you. She'll keep the light on for me. That's cute. All right, folks. Stay safe. God bless. See you guys. Yeah, Tina. Insomniac. Wow, but why that sucks. Hello, Fanai. I'm just signing off. I'm sorry, but have a good night. All right, till next time. Be